Hey everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we have the Hollywood Rack's Destination E 2-bike platform rack for your heavy electric bikes. We'll take a look at how it fits our 2021 Chevrolet Trailblazer. The Destination E is really designed for those electric bikes. You have an included ramp, which makes it easier to ramp the bikes up and onto your hitch receiver. Now with the Trailblazer, since the hitch receiver isn't that high up off the ground, that actually makes it easier for the ramp since you have a shallower angle. Just make sure you have that 2-inch hitch receiver to support that extra weight, since you have a weight capacity of 70 pounds per bike. Now, one feature that is pretty unique as well to this rack is a tilt-away feature. There's this knob here in the middle that you need to access, so just loosen that knob enough so you can push this out. Once that's pushed out, you can then just get yourself ready, get yourself set. Fortunately, there's plenty of clearance between the car and the rack, so you can just use the car to brace yourself as you push this bike rack down. Why would you tilt it away that far? Well, this allows you to open up your hatch, get into your trunk, grab whatever you need. So whether it's your waters, your backpacks, you can grab them, or even switch out your shoes without taking off your heavy electric bike. To bring it back into position, you can either go where your bikes are and lift up, or come here from the back and lift it up that way. Either way, once that's in position, don't forget to tighten down that knob that you loosened earlier before you drive away. So what types of bikes can you carry on this? Well, obviously your heavy electric bikes. I did mention that 70-pound weight capacity, but also for your different frame sizes. Let's say you have fenders on your bike, or you have a set-through frame. This works really well with it because of the versatility of the clamp. Now, the reason you can tilt it so far back is because it uses a lot of straps to keep things secure. So there's 1, 2, 3 straps as well as your frame mount. We are going to take the straps off so we can take the bike off. So we're going to start here in the back. This is designed so that you can access the straps from the other side of the bike. So that means you're not reaching forward past the other bike's wheels to get at the strap. The downside to that super security, I guess you would say, is that it takes a little bit of time compared to your quick and easy dual wheel mount style bike racks. Once all 3 straps are disengaged, you can then go over here to the frame mount and make sure it's unlocked. So this can actually be locked. You do get matching lock cores, and that way instead of having to deal with cable locks, this is all you need to deal with. Once you loosen that clamp enough to lift it up and out, which we won't do just yet, we will set up the ramp. So with this in place, I'll show you the ramp. Now, the ramp is not connected to the rack, so make sure to bring this with you before you go on your trip. Put it in your front seat or your back seat. I don't recommend putting it in your hatch just because it's easy to forget there. This is going to go over to your rear cradle. Unfortunately, this doesn't switch over to the front cradle, so if you're parked in a tight spot, that is something to remember. Once that ramp is set up, then continue undoing your frame mount, get that out of the way, push that to the back, and now you can ramp your bike down. So something to consider with this is that, yes, this is nice, and it is a nice and easier feature for those heavier bikes, but I really wish it was just attached to the rack itself. And if you have 2 bikes on there, you are going to have to get creative with how you're going to maneuver around your other pedals and your handlebars. Now with this ramp, we're going to put this away and put all the other straps and hooks away too. The maximum wheelbase for this rack is going to be 50 inches. So for your larger frames, that's going to fit. You can adjust those straps back and forth so that it can fit those wheelbases. And you can move this frame mount hook along the mast. So this goes up, down, and to the side as well. The maximum weight capacity, yes, is 70, so be mindful too that when you do tilt away and fold up and things like that, that's going to be the weight that you're going to have to be lifting as well. Now we're going to make this a bit more compact. So we have this mast sitting up. This can actually fold down. We have 2 straps holding in our side levers. So let's do 1 strap, 2 strap, and that way we can flip the lever down. There we go. Once that's flipped down, the entire mast can come down and then is secured again by those levers. So don't forget to put those straps back in so they're not flopping around as you drive around. This is a great time to talk about measurements. We're going to measure from our bumper to the end of the rack. Without the mast down, that's going to sit at 29.5 inches. The handlebars on your bikes are going to add to that. So remember that when you have, or if you have a small garage or a small area to park in. Another measurement is ground clearance. At the end of the rack, it's 14 inches. Here at the center of the rack, it's 19 inches of clearance off the ground. So if you do have steep inclines like steep driveways or hills, that's when you'll want to consider the ground clearance. You can also see how low it is to the ground, making it easier to use that ramp. We're also going to fold it up into the compact position. So we have this clip, which is holding in our pin. Once that pin is removed, there we go, we can then go over to the end of the rack and lift up. Bike rack folds up pretty close to the vehicle, but plenty of clearance there. Don't forget to put that pin and clip back in so that everything is secured. There we go. Let's take some measurements from this position. The length now added to the back of our car is going to be bumper, end of bike rack, about 14 inches. Big difference compared to when it was folded down. You'll want it in this position when you're just driving around town and you don't have to take your bikes out just yet, but you don't want to take your bike rack off. What you should remember though when it is in this position is that you do lose access to things like your hatch. You're going to have to take that pin and clip back down again if you want to open that up. Also, with it folded up, it's nice to see that our rear window is completely visible. Our tail lights are visible. Our license plate is not visible, and neither is our backup camera. Our backup camera is offset, so it actually sits right here where the center of our tray is. So you will lose your visuals through that rear camera. If that's a major issue for you, just go ahead and drive around with it in the down position. With all that in mind, make sure you have a 2-inch hitch receiver. And this was installed on the Trailblazer. If you do not already have a hitch receiver, you can find one here at etrailer.com. We have a pin as well as a lock. That lock is key-like to the mast or the frame locks on the bike rack. This uses a very unique anti-rattle knob system to secure the bike rack in your hitch receiver. Check out the full demo if you want to find out how that works, where it pulls on the pin to make for a nice and solid fit in the rack. So you can definitely see how this is designed for your heavy electric bikes. With that 70-pound weight capacity, it's very impressive, and with the ramp included. Some other options you might consider, though, would be the Swagman Ska bike rack with the ramp and bridge purchased separately. I would recommend that just because it has a front wheel mount and it's faster to load the bikes onto that compared to this, which has a lot of straps and a lot of frame mounts. I do really like, though, the security and stability of this rack, especially with all the space you get for the clearance in the back and opening up the hatch. So hopefully this video showed you those features, and then you'll be able to pick which one is the best fit for you. This was a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination E 2-bike platform rack for your heavy electric bikes and how it looks on the 2021 Chevrolet Trailblazer.